One.
I would like to ask all of you to do something for me. Think about a time you were at the mall, the restaurant, or a park, or just somewhere with a lot of people around you. And I want you to notice one thing for me. How many people were actually on their phone in the park, or sitting down in a restaurant while you're eating? Or maybe you're one of them. There are many people who believe that technology is ruining the younger generation. And there are people who believe that it's enhancing their capability. The US Census Bureau says there are 83.1 million people between the ages of 18 to 34. Study shows that the average millennial spends about 18 hours per day just on some sort of technology or digital media. Many of the generation's young mind are still developing. Scientists at the National Institution of Mental Health says the human brain continues to mature until the age of 25. If the brain is constantly in front of your screen, they are going to develop differently as their parents did. Although research in the brain on development among millennials is fairly new, some medical experts say that brains of the people in this generation is developing differently than those of their parents. And their constant interaction with technology is what affecting that. These changes in organs can affect millennials' communication skills. Technology can affect the part of the brain that controls the core personality of a person, from how they work in a team to just how they say hello to you and give you a handshake. I think it's very possible that technology alters the brain, said Kirk Erickson, principal investigator of brain aging and health lab at the University of Pittsburgh. And according to the research at the Chinese Academy of Science in Beijing, there are changes in the ways the prefrontal cortex, cerebellum, and partial frontal lobe matures. Excessive technology usage, the frontal lobe breaks down ties between different parts of the brain. Too much technology also shrinks the outermost part of the brain that makes it more difficult to process information. In some cases, technology can become clinically addictive. Kimberly Young, a licensed psychologist and professor at St. Bonaventure University in New York, has studied internet addiction disorder for 20 years, or IAD. She's found that IAD is more addictive than any other drug addiction, as patients have the same poor social skills, grades, and health, because they can't control the urge of being online. She treated people who had developed blood clots for being in front of the screen for hours on end. Many young patients have chronic problems like attention deficiency disorder, obesity, and they are distressed, disinterested, and disengaged. Some have trouble reading on traditional paper because they're so used to reading it off of the screen. However, not everybody believes this, that technology deteriorates the young mind of the generation. Heavy technology use might actually help with communication, said Xiaomei Sander, a professor at Penn State College of Communication and co-director of the Media Effect Research Laboratory. Sander said that the idea that millennials are bad at picking up emotional expressions and can't talk face-to-face is just outdated. He said, in a sense, actually, we're able to communicate more richly. Technology lets people keep in touch constantly, regardless of age or geography. He said a child could call their grandparents from a different part of the world or send them a text message. Or if you guys are video game fans, you could play with somebody from China and play, I don't know, Halo, Call of Duty, whatever you're into. I'm not good with video games, so don't quote me on that, but texting is almost instantaneous as speaking. Also, Amy Jordan, president of the International Communication Association, has conducted research on media effects in relation to health, primarily focusing on children from school age all the way to age 25. Jordan said young people use technology to separate themselves from the adult culture. They want to relate to each other, not with their parents. But to keep that connection across generations, people might need to adapt to the millennial trend. So the question is technology destroying the mental health for our generation, or is it just preparing them for a brighter future?